The program you're going to see is different from most television plays. It is certainly not for children of any age. All the events, everything described in it, actually happened here on this planet. The scene is a courtroom in Frankfurt, Germany, in 1964. 18 men have been brought to justice after 20 years. They're ordinary men with ordinary, respectable occupations. A doctor, a bank clerk, a grocer, a beauty specialist, a dentist, and a miner, and so on. They are accused of mass murder. The main defendants are Franz Hoffmann, Oswald Kaduk, Wilhelm Boger, Robert Mulker, Hans Stark, Joseph Clare. There are 9 witnesses in the play who represent several hundred who gave evidence at the real-life trial. Every word spoken is taken from evidence actually given. The trial is before a presiding judge. On his left is the prosecuting counsel, and on his right the defending counsel. As we move into court, the trial is proceeding. There are the 9 witnesses. And those are the defendants. The judge takes his seat. On the left, prosecuting counsel, on the right, defense counsel, and a witness resumes his evidence.
Herr Witness, you were the head of the railway station where the shipments arrived. How far was the station from the camp?
About a mile from the old barracks and 3 miles from the main camp.
Did you work in the camps?
No. I was only supposed to make sure the train lines were in order and the trains came in and out according to timetable.
Were you responsible for arranging the timetables?
No. I was only supposed to take care of the technical details connected with the shuttle service between the station and the camp.
Well, the court is in possession of timetable forms signed by you.
Maybe once it happened I had to sign them on someone else's behalf.
Were you aware of the reason for these shipments?
That was outside my field.
Well, you knew the trains were loaded with people.
We were told only that it had to do with the resettlement of people who were under the protection of the state.
And the empty trains returning so regularly. You didn't think about that?
They sent the people off to resettle.
Herr Witness, you have today a leading position in the direction of the government railways. We can therefore assume that you're familiar with questions of fitting out and loading trains. How were the trains arriving at your station fitted out and loaded?
These were freight trains. That means the bills of lading were for about 60 people per car in transit.
How often did these trains arrive?
I no longer remember.
Did they come frequently?
Yes, of course. It was an important terminus.
Didn't you ask yourself what was going to happen to all these evacuees?
They were supposed to be sent off on work assignments.
But there weren't just workers. There were whole families with old people and children.
I had no time to check what was in the trains.
Where were you living?
In the village.
Who else was living there?
The village had been cleared of its original inhabitants. Officers of the camp lived there, and personnel from the factories.
What kind of factories?
There were branches of I.G. Farben, Krupp, and Siemens.
Did you see any prisoners working there?
We saw them coming and going from work.
You learnt nothing about the conditions in the camp.
We heard a lot of nonsense, but you never knew what to make of it.
You heard nothing about people being exterminated.
How could anyone believe something like that?
Witness, you were responsible for the goods trains.
I was only supposed to hand the trains over to the people in the shunting yard.
And what were their duties?
Well, they put on the switching train, then took the train to the camp.
Now, according to your estimate, how many people were in a goods wagon?
Well, I can't tell you that. It was strictly forbidden to examine the trains.
Who stopped you?
The guards.
Wasn't there a bill of lading for each shipment?
Well, there were rarely any documents, only chalk figures written on the cars.
What sort of figures?
60 or 80 sometimes, depending.
When did the trains arrive?
Usually at night.
What impression did you have of these carloads?
I don't understand the question.
Herr Witness, you're an inspector on the railways and know something about travel conditions. Did nothing that you saw through the hatches or heard from the goods wagons tell you that something was amiss?
Once I saw a woman who held a little child near the air hatch and cried incessantly for water. I went for a can of water and wanted to give it to her. As I held it up to her, a guard came along and said, if I didn't go away at once, I'd be shot.
Herr Witness, were you ever in the camp?
I went along once with the switching engine because there was something to discuss about a bill of lading. I left the train and went into the office. I almost didn't make it out again because I had no permit.
What did you see of the camp?
Oh, nothing. I was happy to get out again.
Did you see the chimneys at the end of the ramp and the smoke and the glare of fires?
Yes, I saw smoke.
What did you make of it?
I thought those are the bakeries. They told me the bread was baked by night and day. It was a very big camp.
We travelled for 5 days. The second day we went through our provisions. There were 89 people in that car, along with suitcases and bundles. Many of us were ill. 8 were dead. On the last night, we turned off the main track onto a siding and came close to a long building shaped like a barn. The train stopped, the car doors were pulled open, and prisoners in striped clothing appeared and shouted, "Come on, hurry up, hurry up." It was 6 feet down to the ground. The corpses and the baggage were thrown out. Then we heard the order, "Leave everything where it is. Women and children over here, men on the other side." I lost my family before my eyes. Everywhere people were calling to their families. They were driven along with sticks. Watchdogs were barking. From the towers, searchlights and machine guns were trained on us. At the end of the ramp, the sky was colored red. The air was full of smoke. The air was singed and sickly sweet. We got used to that smoke.
I could still hear my husband calling to me. There were about 100 of us, women and children. We had to pass a group of officers, and one of them pointed to the left and to the right. Old women and children went off to the left. I went to the right. For an instant, I saw my mother with the children. I was glad, and I felt that we should soon be together again.
I held my sister-in-law's child by the hand. She had the smallest in her arms. One of the prisoners came up to me and asked if the child was mine. And when I said no, he said, "Give it to its mother." I did so, thinking she might receive better treatment. They all went to the left. I went to the right. The officer who split us up was very friendly. I asked where the other group was going, and he said, "They're just going to take a bath. You'll see them again in an hour."
Can you tell the court who this officer was?
I learned later that his name was Dr. Capasius.
Do you recognize Dr. Capasius among the defendants?
It's difficult to tell whether I recognize them or not. But that gentleman looks very familiar.
Do you know his name?
Dr. Capasius.
The witness must have confused me with someone else. I never separated people on the ramp.
I knew Dr. Capasius from my hometown. I was a physician there, and he often used to visit me before the war. When I saw him on the ramp, I said hello to him and asked what was going to happen to us. He said everything will be all right. I told him my wife wasn't feeling well. Then she must stand over there, he said. She will be given care. She went with her niece and some other relatives to stand with the infirm. Then they rode off in the van.
Are you sure it was Dr. Capasius?
Oh, yes. I was very happy to see him again.
Defendant Capasius, do you know this witness?
No.
Were you present on the ramp when shipments arrived?
I was only there to take medicine from the prisoner's luggage. I kept it for them in the dispensary.
Herr Witness, which of the other defendants do you see on the ramp?
That one. I know him. His name is Hoffman.
Defendant Hoffman, what were your duties on the ramp?
I had to keep law and order.
Precisely how did you do that?
We made people wait in line. Then the doctors would decide who was fit for work and who was not. There was a fixed quota. It depended on our need for manpower.
What happened to those who weren't needed for work?
They were gassed.
What was the quota of those fit for work?
It averaged about a third of each shipment. If the camp got overcrowded, they were all dispatched.
Were you yourself in charge of allocating people?
The only thing I can say is that I sometimes put the ones who couldn't work in with the others if they pressed or pestered me about it.
Were you allowed to do that?
No, that was forbidden. But people looked the other way.
Were extra rations given to workers on the ramp?
Yes. There was bread, a portion of sausage, and half a pint of schnapps.
Defendant Hoffman, did you know what would happen to the people you separated?
Prosecutor, I personally had nothing against these people. Why, we even had them at home where I came from, before they were taken away. But I always said to my family, keep buying at the grocer's. I mean, they were people too, you know.
Did you still feel that way when you worked on the ramp?
Well, apart from the minor abuses you're sure to get in the kind of life where people are confined together, and apart from the gassings, which naturally were terrible, everyone still had the chance to survive. I personally always behaved decently. But what was I supposed to do? Orders had to be obeyed. Now I have this trial round my neck. Prosecutor, I've lived a quiet life, just like everybody else. Then suddenly they grab me and start yelling about Hoffman. There he is, they shout, that's Hoffman. I just don't know what they want from me.
While we were waiting, one of the guards came and asked us, is anybody ill? Some stepped forward, believing their duties would be lighter, and followed him to the left. As he led them away, there was a disturbance, and he shot into the crowd. 5 or 6 were killed.
Herr Witness, is the person you mentioned present in court?
That one looks like him. It could be him. His name is Bischoff.
Are you sure? Or are you in doubt?
Your Honor, I didn't sleep last night.
We question the reliability of the witness. It's obvious that he merely recognizes the man from one of the widely circulated photographs. The witness is tired. How can we believe what he says?
Defendant Bischoff, would you like to comment on the accusation?
It's a mystery to me what the witness is talking about.
Did you do ramp duty?
I was only supposed to regulate the batches. I never shot anyone. Your Honor, I really want to make a clean breast of it. For years it's been gnawing at me. I'm a sick man now. And now here's all this filthy mess ruining the last days of my life.
What does the defendant mean by that?
The defendant is excited. He's certainly not referring to the proceedings instituted by the prosecutor.
When I was a prisoner, we worked with the quartermasters. We had to take away luggage when the prisoners arrived. Defendant Beretsky worked on the ramp. He took part in the separating and escorted people to the crematorium.
Herr Witness, do you see Beretsky in court?
That is Block Captain Beretsky.
I was only a guard. No one of my rank ever did the separating. A block captain never decided who was unfit for work. Only a doctor could do that.
I saw how Beretsky pointed at people with his stick.